Milan-San Remo was one of the monuments. It's one of the races you grow up watching as a kid.
It's never easy. La Classicissima, like it's called here. It's not about the distance. 300k is okay. It's a long race. It's a long day. But at the end, it's not longer than a Tour of Flanders or Paris-Roubaix.
Yeah, Milan-San Remo, it's really one of the biggest classics, and not only the Italian, but really all the cycling fans really love this race because at least it's the first one. Another thing is it's the longest one, and maybe one of the most beautiful.
And what's really exciting about it, you just don't know the outcome. I mean, you have so many different kind of riders who, in theory, can win it.
You have to be a sprinter, but you can't be bad on the climb.
And as a sprinter, it really appealed to me. You know, I think an undereducated fan would think it's a pretty boring race to the last few kilometres, but that's what makes the race how it is. It's just a crescendo the whole way through the race.
You know, everything can happen. People start to attack, they have 10 seconds, they chase down, and it really builds up towards the finish, which is really nice to see. It's not like boring, and then there's a big climb, and then you wait 2 more hours, but you know already it's only one of the 4 guys who are in front who can win.
I did this race as a pro 16 times. I won it 4 times. I lost it 2 times when I come second. One time in a very curious way.
But it's such a long race, things can happen so easily.
When it comes to crunch time, you know, we do the job. We've trained to do that job, and the lead out is pretty much down pat now. I either go now or I don't. Second place to me is nothing, you know, it's about winning or not winning.
The pressure is on us, and it's like Mark Cavendish won 2 years ago, and he's in top condition this year, and myself, I just know, okay, I also have to be in top form. I have to support him.
My role will be to protect these guys like Goss and Kev, and of course to take care of them in the climb also. We'll try to make a good position for them before the climb and also in the climb, help them in the climb.
Those last climbs are super important. I think, you know, a lot of the races decided there for sure.
And these climbs come, and they come, and they gradually get faster, they gradually build, and it's a will they won't they. That's what San Remo is, you know. It gradually builds, and people get out, you gotta hang, and you won't know your form until you're out there, you know.
It's constantly the peloton who's like really speeding it up and going towards the finish, like really like wild horses who just, you know, start running, and it's very difficult to control.
And then someone will attack at the end. Will they stay away? Will the sprinters come back? And then boom, you win it. And obviously with 300 kilometres and all that going on, everything has to go right. Over 300 kilometres, if something goes wrong, you're wasting energy for the end. You're losing it, you're going to lose the race.
The pressure's on them, of course you're nervous. Before all the big races and the monuments of cycling, you always get nervous and you're more concentrated. And
like in the car and in the convoy, you feel how everybody gets nervous as well. It's grey in Milano, you know, sometimes it might rain, it's cold and super relaxed, and then you go on this big wide road.
It's always pretty gloomy weather for the first 100k. So you hit Ticino, which is the first climb. It's actually the highest climb of the race. At the top of Ticino is a tunnel, and you go through the tunnel, and you see the sea. You come out the tunnel, and it's always better weather there. You start descent down to the coast, and that signals kind of the start of the build up to the end, the beginning of the end. And yeah, it couldn't be a more perfect scenario, you know, go from the grey through a tunnel, open, see the sea, and then it starts.
Full on, the heat is on, and you really see your body temperature related to the race situation, that you just get yourself into it, that you need to breathe every oxygen possible, that you just need this space of breathing when the race gets harder and harder.
You know, it's going to be nervous for sure. I'm sure there's going to be crashes left, right and centre, but you know, the whole thing is having a great team around you to be there and be protected and be in the right position with the minimal amount of effort. So
we've got 2 really good sprinters here. Both guys are going well. I raced in Torino with Mark Cavendish, and I know that this is really the first big objective for him for the season.
But the thing is, like, if you go with Kev or Gossi and you say them stay on my wheel, they will stay on your wheel. So you're not losing them. So really, when you do your job good, you bring them on a good position, they will be with you there. And then, of course, the climb is on their own.
Yeah, I have to do it tomorrow. I have to deliver it. And if not, if I'm if I suck, then this could cause trouble.
The fight for the position is getting harder, and the legs are getting more tired. But you really have to be mentally then right there. You have to fight for every single spot, and it always there's waves coming left and right and overtaking you.
That's a pretty exciting race. We've got myself, who I'm feeling pretty confident for the race, and we've got Cavendish as well, who's shown before that he can get the win here.
I'm quite meticulous in everything I do, and if you can meticulously plan everything, if you can eliminate the risks.
It's normally quite planned, but more often than not, if we have to wing it and freestyle a bit, we do that.
Just builds up, and you end with, well, be close to a heart attack.
Technically, you're taking less pressure off yourself, you know. I think some people think it's putting more on you by doing stuff, but I see it as if I prepare everything that I can now, then there's going to be less pressure, less worry about something happening in the race. I can focus on getting to the finish in the best possible condition, and that's where the pressure comes in at the end.